Bang played a couple times. Although, 100% win rate for him, but is he willing to take it?
The first answer we get on all our wonderings about picks and bans between SKT and Freaka is going to be Elise banned on blue side. They've been doing this quite a lot, SKT, even though Peanut is one of our most famous Elise players. Happy to take the Gragas, which could be a first pick in this draft. Freaka will play it in the jungle and also the top lane. Rumble has been another flex for Freaka as well. Marin having it ripped away from his hot little hands and it going in the jungle 3 times. SKT banned Rumble both games against Freaka in their more recent meeting. For now, though, Freaka on the red side, banning the meta picks.
Yeah, Caitlyn and Zach going to be banned away. The Rakan, like we were talking about, is taken off the board. And the Rumble's also something that SKT could look to flex. Peanuts played that in the jungle as well, so could see that messed with if they want to take that for a first pick.
Yeah, Rumble and Gragas are big potential first picks here, but something like a Cassiopeia or Kalista is also possible as well. Kalista will be banned on the blue side. Recently, Bang has been very happy with the Tristana side of matchups, but usually we see Xayah banned against Freaka. Freak says Kramer will play it into any matchup. Earlier in the season, they were happy to leave up Caitlyn and just take Xayah into it. We mentioned the Lucian, not a Kuro champion this split, so we do see it banned away. And first pick, Galio. They could take Cassiopeia here, Kuro, force a farm lane, but that gives the early Roman pressure over to SKT.
You could also see that Galio go up into the top lane,
Sure.
which is becoming a bit more popular, so could see that flex as well.
It's been a 3-way flex, I guess you could say. Some support Galio played by Tucson, but top lane recently against the lower priority top laners, the Maokai, the less laning focused top laners, you can get away with Galio a bit more against Maokai. It's a very comfortable farm matchup. So good point there, Achilles. We very much could see it being top lane. It's not pigeonholed for Faker.
Well, going to be the Orianna snatched up alongside the Jarvan here for the side of Freaka Freaks, and then Gragas answered by SK Telecom. So very early pick on the Orianna. Just want to lock that one down before Faker has a chance to get his hands on it if that Galio is going to Antara.
And fully expecting Xayah to be selected by Freaka, SKT will take the Tristana blind. Well, we see a change on the script, though. Kramer has taken it whenever it's been available. It might just be the lock-in of the Twitch. I think it actually is. I don't see the hovering text. That's a surprise already. It's not been high priority for Kramer this season. If anything, it's much more of a Bang champion.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely a change of pace here for the side of Freaka Freaks as Kramer takes that one away. So definitely surprising us and likely SK Telecom as well, given how much he's been preferring the Xayah. But back into the next round here of bans, it's going to be the Alistar, the comfort for Wolf, taken off the board.
Yeah, Wolf in his last 10 games has played only Alistar, and when that's banned away, he goes Kennen for a bit more of laning power. Sure, a ranged champion, but another initiation support, even with the ranged nature. I like the Alistar ban, taking away super comfort. Both these teams already have pretty insane engage. The CC threat is already locked in. Let's see if Freaka are going to double ban support Kennen, or will they go for something different? It's always interesting to see what their read is, and they seem to have the read you did, Achilles. It's going to be a top lane Galio, because it's going to ban away the Talia.
All right, take that one off the board, so we'll have to see what that leaves Faker with. I mean, we already know that he has a seemingly infinite pool of champions that he can go for, but it's going to be the Morgana that gets banned away.
It's almost baiting a pick here, an engaged support here. The reason why you ban away Morgana is that it's a very good answer to an engaged support, basically saying that Wolf wants to play one. You know, we've been hearing the logic that Morgana's a counter to Rakan, who obviously is already banned. Neither of these teams prioritize Thresh, so Thresh certainly going to be a big pick in other regions.
Okay.
Janna locked in. Okay, very interesting. Blind Janna. Will this just be the gold pretend Janna that Max was running, that we saw Mada running as well? Somehow, the engaged supports could be out.
And we might just be going back to ranged supports here for Wolf.
As
we have the hover over the Lulu.
So the reason why Janna is suddenly becoming a pick is answers tanks so well with the Monsoon and also her disengage, and can just go for a GP10 focus build, maybe even skip over Sightstone and rush into the Ardent Sensor to make Twitch a god even earlier than item timings would naturally make him powerful. So Trist Lulu ends up being the answer. Most melee engaged supports can't lane confidently into Janna unless you're going to be going, say, Blitzcrank, for example. Waiting to cement where the Galio is going. It is actually going to be Faker on Galio. He's been playing it in solo queue, but given that Huni and Untara have played so many games of top Galio, there was a flex to the last, but they're preferring the Gnar, which is another blind pick for the side of SKT.
Yep, just going for as much engage as humanly possible. I was kind of surprised that we didn't see something like the Braum go into the bottom lane.
Could have been an option for them. It's a good answer to specifically the Twitch in team fights, and can even stop the ball for the Orianna. The Kennen here would be a top lane Kennen, would be AP Kennen coming out from the side of Marin most likely. Lot of top laners, Huni, Untara, Marin returning to the AP Kennen, and Marin was playing way out of meta a few months ago. So probably going to be AP Kennen into Gnar, and Kennen has always been a pretty good matchup into Gnar.
All right, back to the basics here for Marin. One of the 3 champions that he plays on a regular rotation. Brings back out the Kennen. We'll see if it's going to be the on-hit or if it's going to be the AP, as you say.
Expected to be AP. Basically, Afrika have a dive trio of Jarvan, Kennen, and Orianna, and then Janna solo peeling for the Twitch behind that engage line. So if you see Snowball on the top side of the map and Twitch just getting free farm 2 items and an Ardent Sensor onto the Janna, very high damage potential coming through from the side of Afrika. SKT, though, they have a pretty standard Snowball draft. Galio, Gnar, Gragas can turret dive aplenty with the wild growth thrown in as well. So it seems SKT have taken some nods from Longju and KT with the return to this Galio-focused comps that they've been moving away from recently. But if the scaling is free from Afrika Freaks, they have such strong late game team fight.
Yeah, not to mention ball carriers there with the J4 flag and drag in Shockwave down, or the Kennen Proto Belt jumping forward with Flash. Just lock everybody down with the Slicing Maelstrom into a Shockwave and devastate the ranks of SKT. Let's see if they can withstand that might and take out Game 1 as we load onto the Rift. SK Telecom versus Afrika Freaks.
The Lancer actually coming out there when we saw the Kennen hovered. 14 AP, only 53 AD. It's AP Kennen time, Achilles.
All right, here we go. We're back at it.
This fan is agnostic, it seems.
Yeah, they're just 50-50. I'm not sure.
A lot of SKT fans will have Afrika as a second team, largely because of Marin being on the roster, a beloved member of the SKT family. Such a hero from his 2015 exploits, and even if they're aficionados of esports, I Love Uve being the coach is a help as well, given his history with the SKT organization. Marin's attempts to play AP Kennen this season have been a failure, and largely he has been focused on a very small effective champion pool. So seeing him return to it here is another one of these risks. We know that Afrika listens to Marin's calls. He makes almost all of the shot calls on the teams, including his famous prowess at teleport. He also is going to have the last word on what he's playing, and he returns to the Kennen that has not found the team success.
That much more pressure on Untara. I mean, already has to go up against this veteran former top laner for SKT, but also needs to try to be able to match him with TPs while playing Gnar.
Untara's played the postseason before, but you'll remember that was a relegation postseason for CJ Entus, where he certainly did not look impressive, and Kramer was his teammate at the time, so a bit of a CJ connection there. It's been a different season. Both of them are going to want to forget their 2016s.
Good reaction there by Tucson.
It's going to be a bit tricky because they are trying to lane Janna, and Janna Twitch is a very, very weak lane. Take into Lulu, who's laning prowess, is powerful, and Tristana, who does just fine on her own. So we'll see how much Afrika have to give up, because I don't imagine you want to spend too much time jungling around the bot side. There's no power to play with.
No. Well, this is going to be painful for sure. The shield will help mitigate that damage coming through and also trading back in, but for now, it's going to be Kramer and Tucson completely relegated to stay underneath of their turret.
Spirit's path thing will be very interesting to track. We always talk about Spirit when Afrika are playing Gnar, because there's been so many times where there's been the unfortunate situation where Marin, for one reason or another, has been laning against double buffs as Gnar, or having other issues against Gnar, having to lane swap because Tucson and Kramer got pounded too much in the 2v2. It's been unfortunate when they've been playing the Gnar. This time they're against Gnar, and we understand exactly how Gnar lanes go. If he's able to just play to his own devices and not get ganked, he is a very powerful laner. But that if has been exploited time and time again after Cuve made such a triumphant re-debut of the Gnar.
Look at this very aggressive roam down.
It's not spotted either.
Yeah, Crow's going to be joining in there right up underneath the turret. This could be very bad for SKT. Bang level 2.
They're in
Does
vision
he
now.
have the leap? That's going to be the flash in for the exhaust thrown down onto Wolf. Bang firing away, trying to get onto Kuro. Seems like Wolf's just going to go ahead. Surrenders his life as Kuro scoops up the first blood.
That's a really great roam from Kuro, roaming as a flash cleanse Orianna at level 3. We said, okay, not going to be any bot lane visits because you don't want to just gank as Jarvan, but bringing in the Orianna meant there was never going to be a turnaround even attempted by SKT, and you know that a team has accepted their fate where a 4-man gank comes in and neither of the bot lane uses any summoners because it wasn't worth it. One person was going to die, and they elected it to be the Lulu.
Yeah. It's just a bit too far forward. Tucson chose him with the exhaust. So,
We
nice
should
first
mention
blood.
something here. Kramer's running Relic Shield Twitch.
You are correct.
So the theory here is that we're seeing gold seals be run by Tucson, gold quints, and actually the last hits from Kramer will also pass gold over to the Janna. So what the reasoning is here is you want to rush the Ardent Censer as fast as possible, and to the nth degree, even Kramer is trying to rush the Ardent Censer for the Janna because he's actually opted into sharing gold as an AD carry.
Interesting.
Not been seen by me at least in competitive play, but
Yeah.
the GP10 build is super fast here. Tucson's already upgraded. He's not in a rush for his Sightstone, let me tell you.
All right, well, bit of innovation coming through here. Kramer picks this one up. I mean, you know, Bang was the one for the longest time that was kind of setting the trend for the AD carries, the Ninja Tabi bringing that out, but now it's going to be Kramer to try something a bit different.
This hasn't been seen since Relic Shield was released, and you remember was very powerful on release.
Yes.
So pre-season, a lot of bot lanes were going double Relic Shield, upgrading to Targons, and abusing that. Those days are gone, but with how powerful as a one-item spike Ardent Censer is on Janna, it really does feel good as Twitch. You're basically a god the moment that item is completed. Kramer is extra investing. This is really innovative from the side of Afrika, and I love that they're throwing this in as a gambit in game 1 of just a best of 3.
We'll see how well it's going to pay off. Kramer coming back into lane. Just going to be picking up the double daggers. A little bit of crit coming through. But still will be taking the brunt of the damage from Bang, who has that pickaxe.
So Hurricane first. There's actually a Chinese AD carry at the top of Korean solo queue that goes Hurricane Twitch Rush. And when you finish Ardent Censer, it gives you on-hit magic damage, so you get AD from your ultimate and the on-hit magic damage at the same time. And you just do incredible amounts of AoE damage with your first ultimate, which is just, again, so much earlier a power spike than Twitch is usually getting. So this is really interesting. So much new stuff in the bot lane, as we just see a Relic Shield proc go over to Tucson.
Already spicing things up. We wanted new champions, didn't quite get it. The Jenna, I guess, kind of coming back in. Same with the Lulu being brought out by Wolf. Those are the odd ones. But making up for it with the item build there by Kramer. Spirit poking his head out, looking for some camps to steal away there in the jungles. Not going to be finding anything as Faker roams over. We'll lose out on that control ward in the river, however.
Faker just happy to play a farm game. Want to deny the Galio plays. So difficult to coordinate ganks in the early game. Once the hero's entrance is available, that's why the early gank being so early meant that Galio couldn't respond in any meaningful way. Had teleport up, was not really going to be able to clean anything up in the bot side. Otherwise, Kuro being able to match farm with Galio after his early roam is a big win for the side of Afrika.
I'd like to see how much gold this is, of a difference this is creating between the likes of Wolf and Tucson as he takes quite a bit of damage.
Feels like also the Spellthief's Edge is outclassed by the Ancient Coin route with how much gold generation there is now if you can actually pick up the gold. And here we go. It's already 700-ish gold between the coin and also the Twitch. Doing a solid for his support.
Also does have that assist coming through as well.
First read from SKT should be that Afrika can have no control at all around the bot side, and that you already knew that when it was Twitch Janna. You wasn't expecting there to be a lot of control, but he's probably not going to prioritize Sightstone either. So it's literally going to be trinket wards and no control on the bot side, and that's why we see a teleport play.
Well, that was aggressive there from Faker. Wanted to try to take away the blue buff. Arrives just a second too late. In the meantime, top lane going to be having a bit of a fight here. As Untara does have the transformation, just trying to smack Marn around as much as he can.
Wanting guys rush, will reconfirm that it is the AP cannon. But this is the right move from SKT. Afrika have in every way given up the potential to skirmish 3v3, 2v2. If there's even numbers, they will lose in the bot side this early in the game, and they're not going to attempt to make any plays around the Drake. Afrika is so happy it's a Cloud Drake and not an Infernal or a Mountain as first spawn, and SKT should know that it's basically free to play around bot side.
That was really aggressive positioning there from Bang, walking straight up next to the turret, even with the J4 in the lane.
There's so much greed going on here by Afrika, but because they're doing it in a best of 3, because if they win a game, they're already 1 game away from knocking SKT out of playoffs. It could be a masterstroke, and for now, SKT aren't taking fast drakes, getting a faster spawn of the second one. Actually going to look to play around the top side. Here's Peanut.
I don't think he's been spotted yet. It's going to be the Flash body slam in. Slicing Maelstrom's thrown down as Antara takes this up, flashes away, and will stay alive. Answering kill coming through here for SK Telecom. They can't stick around and try to get any damage down onto the turret because Spirit is here to respond.
So it's a very even trade, all things considered, across both sides. It is an answering kill overall. The minion wave being able to be picked up by the Jarvan is relevant as well. No first blood gold because of the early roam down bot side. And it won't be able to teleport back in, but neither will Gnar. They need to get advantages where they can. Gnar had to slow down the build. Will be Frozen Mallet first, but had to go for Spectre's Cowl to respect the flat penetration that was brought by Cannon, but this is just fine by the perspective of Afrika. You can tell with their gold lead, and largely that gold lead is on the support.
Wolf just harassing where he can, trying to get some gold back with his Spell Thieves.
Losing effort there. It's against even the runes.
It's not going so well. It's a very uphill battle.
But you can take a step back and consider that Afrika have basically gone all in on scaling. You know, you look at the comp and you're like, okay, they're playing for the late game, but this is really a white flag when you're going GP10 runes, GP10 build, even the AD carry getting on the GP10 train to help out his support. This is such a Janna-focused strategy to get her to Ardent Sensor. And SKT already had the Galio, they already had the early playmaking, and if they can't make those plays work, Afrika's basically getting away with a highway robbery. The gold lead's already 1,000 for Janna.
So far ahead. You can see that Kramer, though, he is suffering quite a bit. Not so much in the gold department, but in the CS. So it is creating that difference and that advantage for Bang, as they also are working towards this first brick here in the bottom lane. A couple more of those explosive charges, and we will be saying goodbye to that turret.
That was really overextended here.
Looking for the gank. Faker, not going to land the taunt.
It's Flash and Cleanse up for Kuros. That's why it looked a bit half-hearted, because they realized no real chance of picking things up without Peanut's Flash to bounce the Orianna in. We'll just back away. SKT want to try and get this turret pre-15 minutes in bot lane, but Janna can just use the shield off cooldown to artificially keep the turret HP up. And for now, every extra minute they get to lane with all this GP10, Afrika are happy.
We are a couple more inches closer to Koro. Maybe we would have seen something like the Flash being blown. It's the advantage that SKT wanted to open up in the mid lane, but they do miss out on that.
And the small timer here is basically, can SKT take down the bot lane turret before Ardent Sensor is complete on Janna? Because when Ardent Sensor is complete, they'll be able to counter push, but bot lane,
he's looking for the kill. Oh, that's going to be the heal coming out as well as the Monsoon. As Tooth tries to keep him alive. Peanut wraps around from the back, but will not be able to find the rat, but they should be able to get this turret if they push this wave in. Yeah,
it seemed like Janna, even if that hadn't been successful a trade, wouldn't have been able to get a shop in to actually pick up the Ardent Sensor, even though the gold is probably there already. SKT going to return to the turret. Afrika being pretty greedy, sticking around, but Peanut's already in his own friendly red side jungle.
They will knock down the shield, and that's going to be the turret going over to the side of SKT. One final shield just to really mess with them. There we go. A couple more shots from the minions alone will take this down. It's like the most frustrating thing. But there we go. First brick over to SK Telecom. Will open them up a bit of a lead, just 500 gold or so, separating them from Afrika at the moment. So this is still neck and neck.
Watching Peanut invade onto Spirit.
Goes in. Both of them have the smite available, and the mid laners are nearby to try to contest this one. It's in vision for both sides. Down to 1,200, but the smite will be there for Spirit.
The way I kind of look at this, the way I think anyone can understand is that Afrika basically had the world's best interest rate for 12 minutes. When they were laning in a short lane with GP10, that was just the sort of thing if you saw it in real life, you'd get all your savings and throw it into the bank because you're getting such great interest because it's so safe in a short lane 2v2 while making all that gold. Now the turret's down, but Ardent Sensor is complete. Finding safe lanes for the Twitch to farm is not going to be trivial. He's rushed Hurricane, so he has no lane control. And SKT have a big skirmishing advantage. So if they choose the right fights, they still can pull things off here. And Peanut doesn't pick up the blue buff still.
It's so very close, but will be Kuro walking away with that one. So far, invasions onto the buffs not working out here for the side of SK Telecom. They have opened up the bottom side of the map quite a bit there with that turret being taken. Zentara has been whittling away at the top side of the map, but so far haven't seen any priority or any attention paid around the Dragon or the Rift Herald as of yet.
And kind of the frustration for SKT is that with all this discussion of the bot lane, the laners are in the mid and top are about as safe as can be. Orianna is a farm lane against anyone. Kennen is one of the most powerful top laners with the ranged auto attack. Even if you're going AP Kennen, you won't have the same harass potential, but you're not going to lose CS to a Gnar either. Mentioned already, there's no control on the bot side, so the Cloud Drake going to be a donation. My Afrika Freaks over, but not going to lose any sleep over that.
No, we'll just take this, but we'll see what we get next. It's going to be an Infernal Drake, so that's going to be one that Afrika has to be concerned about.
That's something where Jarvan and Janna will have to play around the bot side and put down control wards to actually allow it to be contested as the game goes on. Hurricane complete, like we mentioned already for Kramer. And we focused on basically the on-hit magic damage from the Janna for the early phase, but almost certainly will be Infinity Edge as the second completion.
Speaking of which, Bang's got his ready to go.
First item, Infinity Edge on Tristana. Usually we see BF sword into Static
Zeal.
Shiv.
Yeah.
You Zeal into Static Shiv as the first item there. Gives more pushing, which can be relevant, but I guess you're not going to be winning the push war against a rushed Hurricane on the Twitch, so just goes for Infinity Edge. The crits work for him certainly can be big. Watching top side, Marin does spot out Peanut. Will have to give up his turret.
Yeah, we'll just lose out onto that one. Every time Kramer tries to walk up to get a couple hits in, but with that Infinity Edge in the inventory for the Tristana, can't really try to take those trades. So it does have to go ahead and peel back. In the meantime, some attention being paid into the mid lane. On to Faker's turn. It's knocked down to about half. Taunt will land right as Spirit does get the flag and drag out, so he'll stay safe. Buster shot used as Kramer gets popped back. Bang. Not looking for the fight quite yet.
Already showing respect also. The Ardent Sensor and Hurricane complete. No critical damage on the on-hit magic damage coming out from the Janna Ardent Sensor, but still going to be a lot of early damage. And when he pops the ultimate, has the AD steroid there as well. And Tara's teleporting super deep. Remember, there's no turret in the bot side.
Yeah, it's going to be them trying to hightail it out of here. The Monsoon will buy them a little bit of time as they knock away Bang, but I think Tucson kind of wishes that he had held on to it now as Tara goes in, slowing up Kramer. Tucson's already going to be going down. One final shot from Bang, finds the kill, leaps in. Can't create the distance, but Kramer, he gets popped back, slammed into the wall, and Tara scoops up the second kill. 3-1 here for SK Telecom.
Yeah, the SKT fans roar as Peanut hits the picture-perfect flash cast. Needed to hit that to actually punish them and justify teleporting. A teleport for just a single kill on a Janna wouldn't be enough. They were to push up in the bot side, may even make a play around the mid side. Afrika in full loss minimization mode. Marin electing not to teleport bot.
I mean, even if they only killed the Janna, that still wouldn't be the worst teleport that we've seen so far in this game. Faker going for the blue buff was a bit of a stretch, I'd have to say. But they do find the kills. They bring that lead even larger for themselves. This is exactly what SKT needs to do, so they can get ahead and close out this game before Afrika hit critical mass with these hyper-scaling carries in the Orianna and the Twitch.
While I'll agree with you on one point, it's not necessarily as fast as they would have wanted, and reading exactly how much gold Afrika actually needs when Ardent Sensor is thrown in, when it's AP Cannon, it's such a different amount of variables, because these are things we have not seen in the entirety of the summer season. SKT, as we know with these Galio comps, are going to try to take as many objectives early, but the actual gold break-even for Afrika to be able to stand up and win teamfights is a bit undefined, because so much has changed in just one patch and a couple of weeks for the Afrika Freaks.
So far down, but not yet out. Around 1,000 gold here, but SKT, they want to add to that one. They take the Rift Herald, and very likely will be using that to shatter the turret in the mid lane, fully open up the map for themselves.
Not to be undone, Wolf be going for a much slower Ardent Sensor, you would imagine, with the items he's put together. Double GP10 items, well, the full GP10 item, I should say, already complete by Tucson as well, so finally we'll have that Eye of the Watchers available. SK SK Telecom. It's going to be all about those picture-perfect mid-game team fights that we've already said. KT and Longzhu certainly have been doing repeatedly in the last couple of weeks, but it's a different style from SK Telecom, who've really played around with identity ever since they went on that 8-game losing streak. They've played around with different styles. They can play the Rumble comps well, but this is something a little bit different because Afrika threw all the curveballs. So excited to see how the next real team fight goes, because right now it's a bit up in the air.
Seemed like they were looking for one there in the mid lane, but instead we'll just go respond to the waves. Keep those pushed away from their base. SKT do start gathering up in the vicinity. Could summon the Rift Herald, as Peanut is there in mid.
Difficult to do so without a pick onto Orianna or Twitch. The wave clear is good. Even Cannon can help out a little bit. AP Cannon not quite AD Cannon when it comes to ranged auto attacks, but helpful nonetheless. SKT's big advantage where the game is at and where the composition is at is they can face check basically any brush with Gragas, Gnar, and the Galio and contest vision. So putting down control wards, finding safe passages to the team fight that Afrika is probably already ready to go to is a very difficult thing to do, and Bang just wants to try to DPS Orianna out of the mid lane and truly open up the map with a mid lane outer turret take.
Yeah, the likelihood of finding a kill is very slim, but if you can at least just chunk her out and force her back to base, then that could be the moment to go ahead and summon the Rift Herald, but still not going to be finding it. Has that refillable potion, still has one more charge ready to go.
And in playoffs, when that is such a big goal, something like blowing a refillable potion charge, which sounds trivial, you might snort at it, is relevant because the next time he's chunked out won't have the regen to not have to return to base. So it's a game of inches, inching forward our SKT, but they won't feel truly happy about the first 20 minutes until they break that outer mid lane turret.
I mean, honestly, I don't think they're going to feel truly happy until they break the Nexus. SKT, this has always been, you know, their struggle is the Afrika Freaks. As Antara will get pinched and loses out on the Mega Gnar, but has the double hop away thanks to Wolf. Will slow them up, but Spirit cheats forward with the flag and drag, but says, you know what, don't want to pursue this blindly into their side of the jungle. Just looks to clear out the wards instead.
AP Cannon has always been about as powerful as a function of the wards that are available for the flanking teleport. Is a teamfight champion compared to our year of 80 on-hit Cannon, where we didn't really think of those slicing maelstroms really having any threat. Because they haven't been able to put down wards, there really aren't good teleport wards for Marin. So the guarantees about taking a teamfight are difficult, and SKT can't get the ideal setup. They get a pretty good one as they try to break this outer mid lane turret.
Yeah, they see that Spirit, Kramer, and Tucson were moved away from the tower. So they go ahead and summon that Rift Herald, get a bit of damage in from the initial charge, but that's going to be about it. We're finding too much else, but SKT could just go ahead and wrap down the river and try to take out this Infernal Drake.
Yeah, SKT happy to brawl, even if it just distracted someone from auto-attacking the Rift Herald. It was more damage onto that mid lane turret. We see the teleport back. Probably going to be too late if he's going to teleport in to contest this Infernal. It's already super low.
Faker trying to gatekeep as best as possible as the Infernal Drake does go down. TP being channeled by Marin as he tries to cut them off. Could be setting up for that 5-man slicing Maelstrom. Will get spotted out as Faker flashes away. Goes out the gusts. Has to go up into the air with the hero's entrance just to try to get him out, but the Shockwave pulls him back in alongside Peanut as they get chunked down. Seems like Afrika might just be letting them scatter their way back in underneath the turret.
Yeah, Afrika don't really have the ability to flash in and have explosive damage. Not a maximum damage build coming through from Marin. Doesn't have Zhonya's either to be a true initiator. The reason why this is fine is that they have inside track on both mid and top lane. So they're going to try and at least take the mid lane turret. That was a creative teleport, I'd say, from Faker. Never going to work there.
He's had 2 of them so far.
If Kobe was here, we know what he'd say about that teleport.
It was wonderful.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, optimistic teleport ends up just being a true waste from Faker, who, as you called before, 2 out of 2 teleports have been optimistic at best, and Afrika take down the mid lane turret, continue to rein in the gold. They're 2 kills behind, they're a turret behind, but that GP10 can't be denied.
No, it cannot.
Well, now he's almost 2,000 gold ahead.
Yep.
That is literally disgusting. GP10 supports was what, Season 3? Early Season 3, maybe Season 2? Certainly. It's been so long. Felt like GP10 supports went out around the same time that Sightstone was introduced as an item. And this Janna is just getting ridiculously strong, ridiculously early.
I mean, Tucson is basically single-handedly making it look like Afrika are very even in the fight. Marin's on the backside, however, will be flashing and slicing Maelstrom, coming down, locking up too, as Bang and Wolf go low, but they will not be taken out. TP straight into the middle of the lane there from Antara, but didn't have any rage built up. in his mini Gnar form, so has to go ahead and cancel that one out.
Drew Kennan's teleport, so another small win there for the side of Afrika. It's such a weird game. The pace it's being played, seems like everyone is a bit perturbed about what's going on, and we will have a pause, so hopefully we'll get a little bit of information about whether it's at. Seems like it's on the SKT side of things.
Maybe it's Peanut's mouse again.
We're hearing that there's a problem with Wolf,
yeah, Wolf
and then
is
we do see the attendance
issue.
coming in. Interesting game because we're just commenting on the type of game. It's been played at such a weird pace because from the start, the script, it's almost like everything is different. Relic Shield, AD carry, such a focus on getting the GP10. Max started off the trend. You'll remember when he went Flash Heal Janna for MVP, when it was Flash Cleanse for, I believe, Xayah for Maha. And we went and did the examination. There was GP10 Yellows and GP10 Quints as well. This is the further investment there. Ardent Center came in relatively early, just after the laning phase ended in the bot side. Afrika will feel pretty good about losing the minimum, but SKT have certainly not missed their window yet. They are very strong. They still can take these team fights. And we think of Galio mid comps as largely an early to mid game comp, but with the introduction of the new Thornmail, with how tanky a frontliner can get, with items like Bramble Vest and also the Gargo's Stone Plate, you're never really over the hump, even if your Twitch is piling on the items.
I mean, Ardent Sensor completed the same time as the Hurricane for the Twitch that was farming up.
Hearing that Wolf is receiving a small, minor technical issue, so he's going to get out of game and back into game, so maybe some sort of graphical bug. We don't have any confirmation on that, but hopefully just a small thing.
We'll load him back in, see how things are. Hopefully we don't have to take any serious measures for this fix.
I mean, a remake would be a disaster for Afrika because they did so many things that, you know, Coma is in the back wishing he had a quarterback that he could speak to over the headset and be like, this is what's happened, this is what we need to do, and we need to focus on the bot side, take advantage of everything. On the fly understanding, even for myself, having not seen this strategy, was an ongoing process, and the players, you know, it's such a different game. Who knows if they even scrimmed one time against this strategy?
Well, speaking of the game, seems like we got everything ready to go, so we will go ahead and jump back into this one. So just getting him out and then back into the game seems to have corrected whatever the problem was.
Afrika playing side lanes with the Orianna. One of the small disadvantages of running the safe blind pick Orianna is that can easily be roamed on by both teleport and the hero's entrance. Don't know if those teleport timers are correct, Achilles, given that we just saw Antara teleport. So I'm going to guess that it might be bugged.
That might be.
Teleport and then cancel teleport in mid lane was not multiple minutes ago. But give us a moment. Bear with us, OGN Legion. There can be new hidden features when a new patch hits the tournament realm.
You know, it's all right. I like having you know, pasta for dinner every now and then.
Knight's Vow after the Runic Echo. So it was Runic Echo first and not Cinderhawk Gragas this game from Peanut, wanting to do a bit of bruising early, which, given the route Afrika took in the bot side, isn't a surprise, but you would argue hasn't got perhaps as much value out of the early Runic Echo, and Cinderhawk does have that percentage scaling. Mid lane turret's been up a long time, but finally goes down for Afrika.
Yeah, just going to go ahead, force that one out. I mean, that's the power of that Tristana. Not as rapid as they would have liked, but they still are the ones claiming these turrets. So far, Afrika have only been able to knock down the one in the mid lane.
Cost of all of these bot lane shenanigans is that Kramer's pretty far behind in CS. In the bot lane, though.
They're going to commit the Slicing Maelstrom to this one. Antara trying to kite back as best as he can, but the Twitch, he's going to be arriving now. Pops out, immediate flash away, but a flash forward comes through from Kramer, and he will take down the Gnar. Second kill on the board for the Afrika Freaks.
2 flashes for 1, but relieving the pressure. The Gnar now off the map. SKT going to make plays around the top side and try to get Baron Vision for that. Should be a freebie in terms of objectives, even though SKT took that mid lane turret just a moment ago. That gold also goes to the Twitch, gets him the Infinity Edge, gets no value anymore out of the Relic Shield in his inventory. May sell it in just a few moments if he can complete a Zeal from it. Was never going to upgrade it because you can only go so far into helping out your support. Cannon's still bot lane, being greedy here, Marin. This is trademark Marin.
Yeah, that's going to be the flash forward, and Marin will go down. Bang. Very easily scooping up that kill. So Marin, as you say, completely trademarked by him. Overextension, no vision whatsoever, and he gets paid. He has to pay for it.
Had a trinket ward he could have put down, but that wouldn't be Marin. Got to save it for a better spot. Had his teleport up. Thought he was fine playing bot side and didn't have to respect a Tristana giving up CS in a lane for ganking, but Bang does the team thing, slows down and answers the kill that came onto Gnar. We step back and reassess what has been a crazy first 26 minutes, where the game is still completely in the balance. Afrika Freaks, remember, have never won a game. They have played now their 4th wildcard match, never winning a single game, and this is the most competitive they've ever been in those 7 games they've played.
Bang just getting even more damage down onto these turrets, but this time, tier 2, they're in the bottom lane. Not enough free time or, really any vision on that side of the map for him to try to take it, but still chunks it out considerably.
Seems the vision line, because of the grouping and with the turrets going down, is finally being started by the side of Afrika. They don't have the outer turrets, so control wards in the same area give them similar map presence. They can't give up solo tempo to the side of SKT, especially now that Bang has double Zeal item and Infinity Edge, can do massive damage to the Baron. They have 2 Drake stacks as well. See how reckless Kramer's going to get. He's feeling powerful, but used his flash to pick up the kill on the Gnar bot lane, so still doesn't want to face check any CC.
Surprise, neither team has really gone down into the river yet, where the Mountain Drake is getting ready to spawn in just 5 seconds. No vision control on either side. SKT, though, with the pushing waves in bot and mid, would be able to get down there swiftly and try to take out that objective. But in the meantime, Bang leaps in, gets a little bit of damage down onto Kramer as he turns invisible. Explode for a little bit more, and Spirit almost falls. Also shot used by Bang, just popping Kramer back, and Faker's wrapping around from the backside, just as punching forward, looking for the taunt, finds it as he flashes in on top of the Twitch, and he gets taken out. Peanut finds the kill.
Your lack of situational awareness there from Kramer in particular, walked up on the rest of the team, had noticed that Galio was coming around. So just the Twitch, the crown jewel of this comp goes down. They're going to lose something from this, and at minimum it will be the inner turret in mid.
Yep, tier 2 will get taken out very swiftly. You can see Tucson already preemptively throwing the shields in onto the inhib turret as he retreats back towards the fountain to try to get healed up. TP coming through. We'll be able to prevent that turret from going down. Speaker arrives in the top lane.
But watch the rest of SKT. They might try to cut off Mara, and he's going to teleport out, realizing he needs to be quick.
We'll just go ahead. It's out of dodge, but now SKT that much more control over this map.
And now consider that because his only way out was teleport, they even get a teleport advantage out of this as well, as Untara will be able to play the side lane and Marin will not be able to answer. So all from Kramer, just not respecting that Galio was setting up for a turret dive. They lose the inner turret after losing the outer a few minutes ago. They also lose teleport advantage. SKT's ability to dogpile in with this comp that is a team fight, mid-game focus comp, is basically unanswerable for Afrika until they get the teleports back in the game.
Well, they won't be starting up the Mountain Drake, so at least taking one of those away from SKT, preventing triple stack Elder Dragon. A bit later into the game, we will have one final standard, as it will be another Mountain Drake coming in.
Marin's trying to fight back on this side. It's really risky stuff from him.
Oh my god, look at the damage he's taking. The crit's coming through. Peanut will body slam over the wall, slows him up as that explosion comes through from the charge. He will get the stun off. Marin desperately tries to retreat, and you can see just how much damage Tucson takes as well, but it looks like they will be able to make it out of here with their lives.
Bang didn't want to go Rambo and use any summoners, had both available, may have been able to clean up a kill, but wasn't happy with a maybe. Maybe the guarantee is the Baron Achilles. As they turn onto it, it's going to be difficult for Afrika to even sneak vision in.
I mean, no flash, no TP. Marin's going to have to sprint his way back with the Lightning Rush, and even then getting into the pit for the Slicing Maelstrom is going to be very difficult, but for now, SKT just have to be worried about gatekeeping. Keep Spirit out of this
They're going to try and randomly DPS down.
Oh, Buster shot, but it lands on the Tucson. The spike comes through, but it's not going to be the steal there for Spirit, and now he's going to get taken out. Polymorph immediately just ropes him into his own Cataclysm, and Bang can easily scoop up the kill.
Yeah, pretty big risk there from SKT. They didn't have a control ward on the pit. Because of that, they randomly waited, and then DPS down at 2,000. Jarvan got in. Spirit could have actually stolen away what the game would have looked like if he was able to do that. We'll never know. But SKT actually do continue to snowball their 25 to 30 minute phase where they piled on objectives, and the Baron is a massive one, as even though Afrika's wave clear is good, the turret dive threat is now real from the side of SKT.
Yeah, they're already making use of this Baron buff Untara. There's just nothing Marin can do. He's already so low, and Untara's getting ready to transform, so that means that the turret will just be taken for free there by SK Telecom. 5-1 in that regard, as they start creating a more significant gold lead. 30 minutes in, 4.6 thousand. But they're looking to accelerate that pace even further as the final outer turret goes down.
So many things are pretty indefensible already for Afrika. They can't fight as 5. The Twitch, the comp is built around us in the top side, and that means that Bang has really not a care in the world to walk up and DPS down these inhibitor targets.
See how much damage that one in the bottom lane has already taken as Antara continues the split push. Martin gonna try to answer, but again, this is the AP cannon build. This is not the Hurricane on a hit, so he can't clear out the waves with his auto attack. So it's just that much more desperation here for Afrika. We'll knock down that first inhib turret, looking for a second one as Bang goes over down to the bottom side. And Afrika, they're just scrambling back and forth to desperately try to hold on to these remaining structures. But it's a battle that they are certainly not winning. Very much like this one here from Mar as he goes low, slicing Maelstrom. Making him dangerously, just keep him alive for the moment as he finds the stun on Antara, who goes dangerously low. But doesn't even feel the need to force out the flash, so he's able to go ahead and limp away.
Teleport back in to confirm this first inhibitor of the game as well, Achilles.
Yeah, they will go ahead and they want to take this one out. TP completed by Antara, goes straight back over to the top side. They clear this out, and honestly, this could just be the slow strangulation of Afrika as they take all of the inhibitors in the base and maybe just end it.
Afrika held the line for so long well, but SKT with one invitation from Kramer's overstay, that one mistake has led to the passage of play where they now have multiple inhibitors down. And even though the synergy is queued, even though the gold lead for the support will never be answered, they may just lose the game because right now there's nothing in their base to defend, and SKT have full control of the map.
All 3 inhibitors taken in one fell swoop. Looked like they were gonna go for the finish there, but with 5 members of Afrika alive, they do have to at least respect them. So they do peel back, but 6-2, 32.5 minutes into this one. Hasn't been a very bloody game, a couple skirmishes here and there. But SKT, they have found the pace that they wanted from the start. It took a little while to get there, but now all of the structures, aside from the Nexus turrets and the Nexus itself, have fallen for the Afrika Freaks.
You just wonder, was this the one strategy that Afrika really polished and were able to sneak in? SKT certainly didn't seem practiced against it. There clearly was no sharing of information, given that there were very specific things you need to do to answer this. But when they were able to adapt over time, they turned it on. Such a massive lead in the last 8 minutes since that Twitch overextension. And now, even with all the synergies, it feels like SKT can just macro the end of the game, maybe even without a fight.
No, honestly, I feel like I've seen one shockwave from Kuro this entire game. Just hasn't been in a position to really land the big one. And at this point, I'm not sure if, even if he did, if it would be enough to actually kill the members of SKT. Several of them are very tanky. Shockwave will come down. Bang, still alive for the moment, uses the flash and keeps himself up, finds the first kills, he gets rid of Kuro. And Tucson has gone down as well, follows up for the double, make it the triple. Can he get the quadra? He says, oh, you know what? I don't give a damn, Spirit. You go ahead, wander off. I'm killing your Nexus. SKT up in game 1 over the Afrika Freaks.
A perfect ace for SK Telecom. They take down Afrika, who had the most creative strategy I've casted since the famous Heimerdinger jungle game many years ago, Achilles. They tried to roll the dice with many different things, but when it came unglued, like a lot of these more cheese strategies, it came really unglued. SKT, the moment they got those turrets in mid, the game ended maybe 5 minutes later. So they're going to feel confident even though they'll wonder and look back at what was a very interesting game of League of Legends. I wonder if any other team will try to recreate what Afrika was trying to do, because it worked certainly till it didn't. Full credit SKT though. They built for the early to mid game. They got one advantage from a mistake from Kramer. They snowballed from there and they looked KT and Longzhu-esque doing it. Comfortable victory in the end.
Go ahead and get a replay of this one. So full commitment in onto Bang, who has a Guardian Angel.
I mean, layering a CC here. Peanuts' 2 casks were just unbelievably good in this game. And even though Marin comes in, 3 or 4 AP items, ready to set up, hitting 4 members, I should say, with the slicing Maelstrom, doesn't matter. The rest of his team was dead. And SK Telecom are 1 game away from booking a Tuesday date with Samsung Galaxy and advancing in the gauntlet.
Wouldn't be a whole lot of time for them to prepare, but it's better than not being in the gauntlet at all. SKT 1 game away, and Afrika Freaks now need to bounce back. This was them on the red side, which has been very weak for them, as opposed to SK Telecom, who have nearly a 50-50 record on blue or red. Very close wins on either side, but Afrika, this could be their chance to bounce back. as they move over to the blue side.
Both teams have had their super plays. Afrika's games ones, SKT's undefeated streaks, all of those are gone. Now it's just on the coaches.
All right, well, let's see what they can piece together. Let's see, Coma already has everybody sat down going over the game. He's got to be feeling pretty darn good about that one. Maybe educating Faker on how to properly use his teleport, perhaps. But aside from that, should be a very lighthearted environment there for SK Telecom at the moment. But that's game one out of the way. We'll see if we have 3 games here tonight or if it's going to be a 2-0 when we come back from the break.